When your day ends and starts with oxygen not included, you know it's down bad. I spent 5 hours playing Oni on stream, then I have dinner, then I play some more after dinner, and at bedtime, you know what I did? I looked up Oni tips and tricks to utilize power and fish ranging. And guess what was the first thing I did the next morning at 8 a.m.? I opened the game thinking I'll just fix a power issue, then I'll stop. No biggie, right? Next thing I know is 10 a.m. and I haven't had a breakie. As a Vietnamese, I care about my breakie, so today let's talk about my most recent obsession, oxygen not included. Let's discuss why this game possesses the terrifying power to make you forget time exists. Did you know that we humans remember uncompleted tasks far better than completed ones? It's called the Zeigarnik effect. I'm sure you've experienced the anxiety of unfinished homework and you can't stop thinking about them all day long, right? Or maybe you don't because this is an Asian thing where we're obsessed with studying and doing homework. Unlike you lucky kids in the West where you can actually have free time and you go to school by 9 a.m.? Anyways, the Zeigarnik effect. In most games, you complete a quest and get a clean break, a natural stopping point, like in Project Zomboid, Terraria, or Don't Starve Together. You kill a boss, you find some food, you do farming stuff, and then you stop and you feel good about it. However, in Oni, completion is just an illusion. You build a wood burner generator to solve a power shortage, but the generator creates carbon dioxide, so you have to build a carbon skimmer, and the skimmer uses your precious water, so you need to build a water sieve. The sieve produces polluted dirt, which emits polluted oxygen, so you need deodorizer everywhere, so on and so on. Your brain is trapped in a perpetual state of, I just have to fix this one last thing, meaning there's never a psychologically satisfying moment for you to save and quit. I believe that many game devs know about this and utilize this to make addictive/amazing games. RimWorld is on our list for sure. Did you know that I was actually drawn to Oni because I wanted to take a break from RimWorld? I thought that RimWorld was too addictive and emotionally draining and that Oni is going to be more chill. Well, we all live and learn, don't we? Jonna Doom said, this game is far worse than RimWorld. In terms of how addicting it is, I thought RimWorld was the most addicting until I played this. I'm literally performing worse at my job and I'm always thinking about this game. I think this is truly the #1 game for me among all other games and I'm planning to give it the highest honors of going for 100% achievements. Let me explain that never really got hooked by RimWorld. Personally, the storyteller throwing random BS at you kind of feels meh to me. In RimWorld, you lose power because the game decides to hit you with a zzz event or an eclipse knocked out your solar, etc. In Oni, you lose power because you messed up. Maybe you built an automation wire for your geothermal plant out of lead and it melted, or maybe you didn't set your smart battery thresholds correctly. In Oni, whatever goes wrong is your fault and I did that. Oh, many people also mentioned Factorio and that is also very addicting. If you've played it, let me know. I've actually had a quiet recommendation to try Factorio, but I never got into it because I didn't quite like the art style. I care about the game looking cute. RimWorld is kinda cute until it's not, which doesn't take long. Oni is definitely very cute, especially with the animations. It completely scratched the itch for me for cute characters, animations, and crafting and engineering stuff. Besides the 3 games, do you know any other games that also have addictive gameplay loops? I heard Skyrim should be on the list too, but let me know in the comments. When I played Oni for the first time, it felt awesome being so locked in. Trying to learn all of these new mechanics, it reminds me of the time when I used to be obsessed with physics and solving difficult physics questions in high school, or when I used to be locked in drawing arts. That's called the flow state or hyperfocus, which is something I learned by doing research for this video. See, not only making YouTube videos is helping me practice my writing and editing skills, but I also learn new things and smart stuff. Anyways, the flow state, in short, is when you are so hyperfocused on something that nothing else in the world matters anymore. Hours feel like minutes, you're completely in the zone. This is a very positive psychological state. It makes you feel good. The tasks are challenging enough to keep you 100% engaged, but not too hard that they cause you anxiety or discomfort. And it's a positive thing because it not only increases your performance, but also your happiness. You feel proud seeing your knowledge and skills perfectly aligned with the problems at hand. You feel a strong sense of control over your actions, which in result reduces stress and allow you to feel calm and purposeful. So how does this relate to Oni? The game forces your brain to juggle math, physics, and priority schedules simultaneously. Your working memory is running at 100% capacity. When your brain is this busy calculating gas layers, it completely stops tracking the passage of real work time. And yet, it makes you feel good because you absolutely do not need an engineering degree to enjoy the game. You may not finish it or build the perfect automation system or the perfect spawn, but you will for sure still enjoy it. Oni might not be for everyone, but once you manage to get your foot in its door, it sure feels awesome. But there's always a but. You gotta be careful since this game can be an extreme time sink. Too much of a good thing may turn into a bad thing. This person said the entire game runs on systems and it's kind of insane how deep those systems actually go once you get past the early game. What makes it especially complex is that most problems are delayed. You can build something that works perfectly for 50 or 100 cycles and then it slowly starts failing because of something subtle. Maybe a pressure buildup somewhere or heat accumulated 99% is this, or a resource loop wasn't actually sustainable. A great example of why your colony failed would be the following, which is a popular Steam review. My colonies are starving because my plants aren't growing, because my greenhouse is getting too hot, because my cooling system isn't running, because I'm running low on power, because my oil power plant isn't running, because I don't have enough oil, because my oil well isn't running, because it doesn't have enough water, because the water pump is submerged in hot steam instead of water, because I'm not cooling the steam fast enough, because my cooling system isn't running, because my aqua churners are overheating, because they aren't made out of steel, because I cannot make steel, because making it heats up my colony too much, which would be fine if cooling system was operational. Look, all I'm gonna say is keep calm and don't lose your jaw playing this game, or any game honestly. Another thing I enjoyed in Oni is that the micromanagement isn't too extreme like in RimWorld. Yes, you do manage their schedules, decorate their base, improve utilities and amenities to boost their morale, but overall they're pretty much good on their own. You don't have to manage where they're allowed to go, where they eat, and they're not gonna go berserk after being exposed in the cold for 3 hours. In my opinion, that's balance. My brain doesn't feel like it's gonna explode with a gazillion tasks on the list. Oni for sure doesn't feel nearly as punishing as RimWorld, but maybe it's just because I play Oni on no sweat mode. There's also an automation system which isn't insanely expensive or difficult to set up once you establish a good power grid. You can achieve all of this even just in the base game. RimWorld, you gotta either get a lot of mods or DLCs to be able to build robots and automate things, so I'll give props to Oni for this. Let's talk about the duplicant factor. As I've said, one of the biggest things that drew me into this game is because of the adorable characters. They're cute, they're chaotic and weird, and sometimes a little suicidal. This game gives you the illusion of control. You may feel like you're starting to have the perfectly engineered colony, but somehow Stinky got himself stuck in a wall filled with water and starts suffocating. And Nicky died because he ran out of oxygen and couldn't get back to his base soon enough. Dupes act as unpredictable and emergent disruptions. Sometimes you spend hours planning for a macro project and 2 minutes later you spend 2 hours keeping your dupes from dying. There's also the Tamagotchi effect, which is a psychological phenomenon where humans develop genuine emotional attachment to machines, robots, or software agents, such as virtual pets, digital assistants, AI, or in this case, digital game characters. We become intensely protective over digital creatures that rely on us entirely for survival. We're their god. We want to take good care of them. Look, I don't even like drinking soda, but I spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to get the soda machine working. brewing, and another hour trying to get the espresso machine to function. It was absolutely unnecessary, but looking at the cute little guy filling up on a soda bottle and enjoying it is absolutely worth it. One thing I've noticed is that oxygen not included gives you an optimism bias, the false belief that we're finally in control. Unlike RimWorld, where a massive raid instantly tells you you're losing, Oni kills you in slow motion. Your colony feels perfectly stable for 50 cycles while he slowly creeps into your farm because you forgot to manage temperature before digging out into the high heat biome. And by the time you notice, your plants are stifled and your colony is starving or boiling to death, and the mistake happened 5 hours ago. Or just me personally spending hours trying to figure out how to get a stable power source, and then all of a sudden I have too much power backed up, hydrogen gas generator not running anymore, therefore electrolyzers not running, and we're running low on oxygen again. You know, just normal Oni stuff. Sometimes you feel extra good solving that food issue, and the next moment you're trying to outrun a logistically butterfly effect that you set in motion 3 days ago. The grind never stops. Okay, here comes the important part. It's all fun and games until you realize that the game can be dangerously addictive. Losing time to Oni isn't necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion, if you have free time. Playing Oni is still much better than doom scrolling or reading rage-baiting, fear-mongering news. It's a good stress reliever, but let's not pretend that it's all sunshine and rainbows. Games with addictive gameplay loop like Oxygen Not Included or RimWorld or Factorio can trigger bad habits in some people. Jupi said, "Hi, I'm Mark. I'm an Oxygen Not Included addict. I have for the past few weeks procrastinated a lot of work, did not tend to our business as I should have. I also have neglected other games, even games that I love, sometime with my son and my wife. Days have I slept in the basement, too tired to sleep with my family from a night's worth of Oni. Even during the day, whenever I get the chance, I watch YouTube of Oni, read about Oni, browse a wiki for the millionth time, daydreaming about what to do next, how to fix this aqua tuner setup, this excess hydrogen, this iron volcano, this automatic wrench setup, automatic kitchen, food storage, list goes on and on and on. Every day I lie to myself that I can play for just an hour. An hour turns to 2, 2 turns to 4, turns to sleeping on the couch. I even have pictures of my world seat on my phone just to plan on my free time. I feel like I'm cheating on my wife and it's mostly all I think about. I hope this helps me accept who I am, to break the cycle and start my recovery into the world. Thank you. P.S. Have to start a new map now since there's a new update. Man, that is not the ending I was looking for. A quick Google search tells me that this game is widely considered extremely addictive. As I've talked about this in RimWorld video, in a lot of gaming communities, people really just gloss over real addiction issues and make jokes about it like it's so normal and perfectly fine. I get it, these are not addiction helplines. There are gaming communities with hardcore fans of these games, but still, I'm not a psychologist or have any psychology background, but I do realize that some people are more prone to certain addictions than others. So if you find yourself neglecting your real life responsibilities over any specific game, be it Oni, RimWorld, Stardew Valley, Binding of Isaac, or League of Legends, I think it's best to acknowledge that and get yourself out of it. If the addiction gets real bad to the point that you're failing in classes, losing your job, ruining relationships, you should really seek professional help, preferably a psychologist specialized in treating addiction. Overall, I want to send kudos to the devs for making such a great and cheap game. I also feel very appreciative that they are releasing a beta branch for us to just try out the newest DLC for free for a couple of weeks before it gets officially released. By the time this video is uploaded, I probably already buy the DLC because it's released tomorrow. Today is the 10th of June. I'm very excited to buy because it's only $10. In a world full of half-baked games that are overhyped and overpriced, this is something I genuinely notice, and I do want to give them credits for it. Before ending the video, tell me what is the longest you've ever spent fixing a single pipe in Oni. Let me know in the comments. If you like my videos, give me a like and subscribe to my channel here. I post on YouTube once a week talking about gaming culture, and I stream 3 times a week on Twitch, playing whatever I feel like playing at the time. Until next time, take care, have fun, and I will see you next week. Bye.